record, so we're recording. So I will just jump in. Danielle could not make it today, but there's really not too much update on registration. We are at 7:09 when the system went offline, and Danny, I'm assuming we haven't had too many today.
Yeah, I can't imagine. They've set up so that I can pull reports tomorrow.
Okay.
So I should be able to have an update of reports. The first report you get out of the system might be a little wonky, and I'll work with you and Danielle on that because it might be a merge of old info and new info.
Okay.
So we'll figure that out until everything is put into the system, but I can't imagine there was a lot of registrations today.
All right. Perfect. So not much else on registration. Local arrangements.
Oh, we've been busy.
Yes, you have.
Local Arrangements has placed all of the workshop sessions and the everything on the agenda into the space grid. So we're now moving headstrong into finalizing catering and banquet orders in preparation for our end of the week, first week of October deadlines. We've been working on transportation as well, and we're just beginning to get requests for off-site use and some special reception areas. One of which I'm sending Leslie, I'm sending you one from Seattle U. They want to use the regional suite. They kind of mentioned that they were hosting the NUF Institute and said, do you think we could get the regional suite since we're doing the NUF Institute at our campus? And so I have a date and time that they're looking at.
I have a temporary hold on it for you.
Okay, well, I will, I'll show the time for you. I'll send that over right now.
Okay.
Cool, thanks. Anything else, Scott?
Well, I can't do justice for the work that JB and Sheila have done over the past week or two, particularly on Sunday, getting kicked off Sheila's campus because they're shutting it down, going to Starbucks, and the amount of work and the details that they're hitting. So thank you to both of you for that. This is really where lots of things are happening very, very fast. So I really appreciate that.
Well, you've been great, Scott. You've been super helpful.
I have the easiest job. I'll give you a quick update on the reception. The EMP Museum is where we're going to be for the reception. Danny, you saw the contract I sent to you. So we're working on that. I'm working with Chartwells. I'll give you a brief rundown of kind of what the menu might look like, and then I'd love your perspective on something, because as our numbers grow, I do want to be sensitive to budget in terms of how do we go to manage some of that. But those of you that were on the call a few weeks ago, the theme at the EMP, we will have the north and south galleries of the EMP. So we'll basically have all of the EMP museum except for the Star Trek galleries. That was an extra cost.
Sorry, Scott.
If anyone wants to go to Star Trek, I'll let you know how much it is. But the idea is kind of a street theme party type situation. So the menu is going to have a Seattle Dog custom hot dog bar with a bunch of different toppings, from cream cheese to kimchi relish, pickled onions, all sorts of things. You can either create a Seattle dog, a kimchi dog, or create your own. There will be a tacho bar. Does anyone know what a tacho bar is? It is a tater tot bar. So there will be crispy tater tots and beef and vegan chili and a bunch of different scallions. So that'll be in one area. Then we will have a Wolfgang Puck signature, I don't know how to pronounce it, station lounge that is going to have a chicken salad with Napa cabbage, candied cashews served in a mini to-go box. And then there'll be a dessert station. So I think Chartwell's working with Wolfgang Puck is going to put together a really, really nice event. Yes, so Danny has used the Tater Tots bar before, and it was awesome. So that'll be good. Here's my question. Right now, what we are including is 2 free drinks per guest. Free isn't that people will be handed tickets. One of the ways that well, I kind of want your perspective. We can keep with the 2 free drink tickets per guest. We could cut our budget a little bit if we went to 1 ticket, or if we went to no tickets, and then it was all cash. To give you kind of a history, in Oakland, it was only cash bar at the reception. Salt Lake, we had an open bar. Well, it wasn't open. It was beer and wine. In Anaheim, we didn't really have the same sort of reception setup. So I kind of am looking for people's perspectives that if it came down where our numbers are so big and we wanted to save a little money, what people thought. The tickets can also be exchanged. So if I wasn't going to use a ticket, I can give it away. Thoughts about that?
Scott, this is Nancy, and you may have just said this, but I just want to clarify. So would we be charged for only the tickets that are redeemed? Isn't that correct? So,
yes.
So we're not okay.
And it's an average, right? They're guessing that each ticket is worth about $6.
Okay. Yeah, just thinking.
Okay.
Scott, this is Lori. When you say drinks, you mean alcoholic drinks?
Yes. And it can be used for soda and non-alcoholic as well.
And the Chartwells would be charging us the same amount?
It'll come out. We'll get charged what we actually use. So it's averaging $6 per ticket through the Wolfgang Pub Catering. Yeah.
Because one thought is to make it non-alcoholic and leave a bar for people to purchase alcoholic drinks if they're interested. And certainly, again, there's no expectation, I think, on anyone's part that alcoholic drinks be provided, at a NASPA conference, just in terms of, what are we sending in terms of messaging, etc. So just a thought. I would be supportive of not having alcoholic drink tickets. And if you were going to do drink tickets for soda or water, maybe 1 instead of 2. I mean, it's just a thought.
Okay. Thank you, Lori.
And Scott, this is Nancy again, just listening to the conversation and what Lori just said as well. I think the idea of maybe 1 ticket and leaving it open for how it's used might be an option too. But
okay, that's helpful. That's something along the lines. Okay. Anyone else have a strong feeling one way or the other?
I'd throw my vote in with Nancy too. I think having an open ticket so you can get something in you without paying for a beverage would be good.
So I think what I'll do is I'll work with them and kind of play around with that, and we can make a decision, and I think that's an easy decision to change in the past between now and then. So okay, that's really all for the opening reception. I think it's going to be a great and fun event. We're looking at that time frame would be from about 6 p.m. The last bus would leave EMP to come back at around 9:45.
9:45.
So, okay, great. Major speakers, Catherine.
Hey everyone. So I have reached out to the NUFs in Region 5 and 6 to see if there would be people who would be interested in introducing the speakers. And I've definitely gotten a healthy reply. So I'll be sending an email. They have until the end of this week to let me know if they're interested. And then I'll be sending them an email telling them to submit like a 5-minute YouTube video of themselves of why they want to do it. And then we'll be picking 3 to introduce our major speakers. We got a day's travel schedule, and I sent it to Scott. I'm still waiting to hear back from Lori about a couple of things. And then I have followed up again on the phone with the Duwamish Tribe and Cultural Center and still haven't heard back, but I'm hopeful. However, I did want to bring up that if they don't get back to me, just because it seems like we've been kind of reaching out to them for a while. Is that okay? Do we need some sort of backup? I wasn't sure.
I think we need to think about other options.
I have another route to go too, Catherine. So maybe we should explore that off grid too.
That would be great. Why don't we connect sometime off the call?
Great.
Thank you. And that was really all I had.
Thank you, Catherine. Lori, Monday I had a long conference call with Charlie and Leanne, and I don't know if they've had a chance to reach out to you yet, but they should be to confirm timing, 15 minutes for the closing and what your needs are.
Great. Thank you very much.
So if you have any questions, let me know about that. But we started to plot out what all that would look like.
Awesome.
And
so about 15 minutes is our ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, if you need more, let us know. But that's kind of what we're.
That works. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Perfect.
Yep. Catherine, this is Charlie. Yeah, we've got kind of the runs of show mapped out in draft form for the opening and awards luncheon and closing and the other parts there. So, yep, Leanne and I will touch base with you on those details.
Great, thank you.
Sponsors exhibits. Anything, Kelly?
I'm trying to think what I haven't shared last time. But right now we're sitting at sponsors are Chartwell's, Bon Appetit, Aramark, Sodexo, and USA Today. Exhibitors have been the same. I'm working with a few folks right now that have been emailing and calling back and forth to set up some opportunities for engagement that hopefully will be coming through. I'm trying to be incredibly persuasive that we have a highest number of attendance and that we'll be in Seattle. So working hard to get a couple more in. But if you have any recommendations on anything, just feel free to send them to Barb and I.
Great. Thank you. Programs. Another hardworking team.
Yeah, this is Charlie. Leanne, excuse me, Leanne couldn't make it on the call today. She's got she had something else that came up. So just she and I are plugging away, communicating with folks regarding programs, responding to questions from presenters, and making small updates where it's needed. And just what I had just shared, we met, and Scott, you mentioned this, that we had a good call on Monday and sort of plotted out some runs of show for different parts of the program. So things are looking good.
Thank you. Kelly, Matthew said there wasn't much KC update, but I don't know if you had anything.
Yeah, I was going to say the only thing I have is we're currently working with KC reps who are really excited to plan a kind of the KC meetups and different types of roundtables and mixers and networking events. So we are going to be chatting with our Region 6 KC coordinators again this week to try to get some coordination. I know last year a lot of the KC mixers kind of ended up overlapping and made it difficult for attendees who wanted to go to more than one thing to actually make it happen. So I think the only update is we're trying to make it so that way if they are at the same time that they're near each other, so that way people could hop to and from. And we're working with Sheila and JB to try to figure out places in Seattle. A lot of them want to do things off-site, but are also worried about costs. We give KCs about $100, which isn't a lot if they want to do something and offer something to people who come. So we'll have more to come as we have that, but for now, that's probably our biggest focus.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. Institutes. Ramondo's not on the call. Melissa. Hello. Oh, I think your audio is muted. Hang on, I think. There we go.
Hello. Yeah, I just wanted to give an update. I know I've been out of the loop for a little bit, but excited to jump on and give some updates. Finalizing the budget. We have about 14 participants as of now in terms of the Graduate Student Institute. I know reflecting on last year's numbers, it was about 30. And so hoping maybe there might be a spike in registration over the next couple of weeks. I know I've been talking to quite a few people that still need to register. And so hopefully our numbers grow because that will give us a more healthy budget to have some more flexibility to incorporate a little bit more things. Outlining the schedule for the Institute, emailed pod leaders. A part of our Institute is having kind of a built-in mentor component where we have some folks that are maybe new professionals that will kind of set the round table and be able to kind of give some maybe informal advice throughout the Institute. And so hoping to get some feedback on who would be be able to be pod leaders. It gets a little tricky because the Institute is a couple days before the actual conference, and so trying to figure out what folks can maybe come in a day early to serve as a pod leader. And so that's kind of where we're at. I think just reaching out to professionals to kind of build and finalize the curriculum and presentations for the Institute.
Great.
So.
And thank you, Melissa. And you brought up a good question for Danny. Danny, if people have already registered and they want to add an institute, are the instructions the same way, or?
They're probably going to update. For now, I'd say to anyone that wants to add, just to email it's events@naspa.org.
Okay.
And let them know which one you want to add to. Once I learn if there's an easier way, that's one of the things they told us with the system, that it's easier to go back in and edit your registration. I'll send those instructions along.
And I would add emailing events and Danielle Gleis as the registration chair. So we'll try to put that out onto the website maybe. Floyd, if you want to make a note at some point to add a claimer once we know, if you've already registered and you would like to add an institute, email events@naspa.org and Danielle. Perfect. And if that changes, we'll know.
Perfect.
Mid-level, I don't believe is on the call, but lead professional, I believe is.
Yes, I am. Yay. So Joanna and I have been working on finalizing our schedule. We have about 21, I think, as of last week who registered. So excited about that. The only thing is if anybody knows, we're going to conduct a panel of mid-level folks, and we have a mostly female-identified panel. So if anybody knows anybody else who might be perfect for a panel discussion on their career path for who is currently serving in a mid-level position but would be good to speak on a panel to new professionals, holler at me via email and I can connect with them. That's kind of it as of now. We're getting more and more excited as we get closer and closer to the date. And Joanna also submitted our room logistics and needs, so hopefully that arrived to you all.
Great.
We got them.
Thank you.
Yep.
Let's see. Nuff is not present. Neither is the research and SSA. Oh, Nancy, you're still here, right?
I'm still here. Thanks, Scott.
Are you still here?
I'm still here.
I embarrassed myself last week. I'm going to try not to embarrass myself this week.
What did you do last week? I missed it.
Leslie and I have a little thing going on.
Gosh, I don't want to know anymore at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you my update. So SSAO Institute, Cedric met with Jamad Camley, who is our facilitator for the first day of the SSAO retreat. He met with him personally because he was out east, and so we're finalizing some things. I provided Floyd today with more details, kind of a detailed agenda for day 1 and day 2 for the website. I also, I'm concerned that we only have 14 or 15 SSAOs. I'm not sure what we had last year. I would think it would be closer to 30. I did send a note to Danielle asking if we can send a message to those SSAOs that are currently registered for the conference, but not the Institute. But actually, if we do what you just suggested we do, which is send a note out on the website, maybe that covers that. But I want to do what we can to encourage other folks to register.
Yeah, we can get you a list, Nancy, of that, and then you can cross-check with who's already registered.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do whatever and really kind of put the press on right now. Let me ask the local arrangements folks, I think JB and Sheila, did you get the necessary arrangements for the SSAO Institute? I'm kind of filling in here, and I'm not sure what Cedric has done or not done in that regard.
Yeah, I believe so. Cedric was an early responder to our survey. We have the information that was there. I think we're going to be, now that we have all the rooms placed and we're moving now more towards banquet orders and food orders.
Okay.
Probably need to reach out to some of our institute chairs and be like, you know, what is it that you need exactly, or other specific needs. But we have what was submitted. Cedric responded so early in my memory, I think he might have been a little ambiguous on some of the detail needs. So I'll check that up and we'll get something out soon.
Okay, and if you just send it to both of us, we'll sort through it. That sounds good.
You got it.
Say, Scott, go ahead.
I was going to say, my records show there might have only been 17 last year. So you're not far off.
Well, we're going to be more than 17.
Okay.
I'm here to tell you.
I'm recording this.
Hey, question. It sounds like we do have the SSAO breakfast on Friday morning sponsored by USA Today. Is that correct?
Correct. And there's going to be two things, right? And Nancy, we'll have to talk offline. Right after the SSA Institute at noon, there'll be a little reception with all of the sponsors and exhibitors, right?
Okay.
And then on Friday morning will be the SSAO breakfast. USA Today is sponsoring the SSAO breakfast on Friday morning. So
right.
They do get a few minutes to address the SSAOs during that event.
Right. And who coordinates that, or I just want to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Well, we'll make sure that the breakfast food and all that is taken care of. And then
okay.
If you could help making sure that, it's really just a breakfast, so you and I could talk about organizing that and what that looks like.
Okay. That sounds great, Scott. I think that's my entire report.
Great. And for all the institute chairs, we will be handling the breakfast for the institute and the reception for the institute centrally. But if you know, I know that some of you have sent requests about, we want to spend $300 on books or whatever. If you haven't already, please do that so we can talk about that. So, all right. Thank you, institutes. Tamara, your third day on the job. I don't know if you want to give a summary of what to expect people to send out.
So Scott told me that I will be sending you all out pretty much a document and to line up all your volunteer registration. I started checking out the website, and that's pretty much where I am. So once I start getting that information from everyone, I will start plugging that in and reaching out to those who have expressed an interest in volunteering.
Yep. And we're going to be using Sign Up Genius. Danny,
yes.
Or Volunteer Spot, one of those.
Sign Up Genius.
Yeah. Okay. Rob can't make it for the treasurer. I told you I'm not sleeping, so we'll just move on from that. Websites. You've been doing some work today.
Yeah, so trudging away still. I know I'm getting some emails from everyone about getting their content up there, so we're working through that. Just some quick updates. We got the schedule uploaded. I had a student of mine check because I never know if it's just because I have access or not, but we should be good. So you can see a current schedule on Dropbox and download it if you want to see what the current schedule looks like. So I know that Carmen worked hard on that along with all the other folks to kind of pull that together. Partly because I'm putting and updating tabs, just had some questions maybe in particular about some of the timing of things, and I'm realizing that there may be folks that aren't here on the call that I should be also reaching out to, but the start time for some of the grad pre-conference institutes, so everything I've done so far has been a 1 o'clock start time, but I noticed on the schedule that there are some that started earlier. I don't know if that's a carryover from last year or if there's some nuances to that. So that's just a general question that I'm hoping I don't see anyone that's off from any of the pre-conferences, but maybe taking a look at that just to confirm. And then the only other thing would be just some of the breakfasts and or gatherings. So for example, there's a newcomers welcome that is only listed for 30 minutes. Is that, I remember hearing about that, but
Yeah, that's still being fleshed out.
Okay, so I'll just put whatever's on there, but those are some of those things that I was noticing at different places. So again, I guess if you could take a look at it, and if you come across timing information that you see is incorrect, just give me a heads up, and I'll try to make that correction as quickly as I can.
So Floyd, it's the new professionals. Melissa, are you still on the call?
Yep, right here.
I think it's the new professionals is listed starting at noon on Wednesday, but I think we were all planning on starting at 1. Are you guys?
Yeah. GSI will be starting at 1, but
Okay.
I can send a more detailed schedule
Okay.
as well as a blurb for the GSI. So that will be coming very soon.
Okay.
We'll be starting around.
And I just flipped that around. Becca, you're new professional.
Yes.
So you're listed as noon, but I think that might be an error. Are you planning on starting at 1 on Wednesday?
Yes, 1.
So, Floyd, I think the only question is for Kim about the NUF. She may have it at noon because I think they're going to be
They're trying to go to a campus offsite, right? Or locally.
Yeah, so I think Kim's the only one we need to confirm. Carmen, I think you've been correct on the PDF. New professionals start at 1.
Okay.
And then on Thursday, there's the mid-level institute is ending at 12 and 230. So that just needs to be fixed.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. Oh, was that on the schedule or on the website?
No, on the PDF schedule.
On the PDF. I'll change it on the PDF.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tamara. And Floyd. All right, other business before we wrap up. I know people's time is valuable, so am I missing anything?
Scott, this is Nancy. Just a couple quick questions.
Yeah.
Do we have an updated directory? Since I joined the group a little bit late, I just want to make sure I've got the correct information and who's doing what. Do you have a directory of the committee?
Did Carmen add you to the Dropbox, shared Dropbox?
I don't believe so. I don't.
Not
no.
yet.
Once
I don't know.
Sorry about that.
Once you get added, it'll be in there.
Yep.
Is there a time limit? Do I have to give you enough time in order to get into the Dropbox, or what are you making me do in order to? Is there a
Well, we have
qualification?
to hide the important stuff from you first.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So thank you for that. I'll try to be worthy of Dropbox. And
watch for a link from Carmen that'll have, or from Dropbox that'll have the public link, the link.
Okay, that'd be great. And one other question, Scott. When do you want us there before the conference? Do you have a time, or as I look at travel arrangements?
Tuesday by noon.
Tuesday by noon. Okay, great. Thank you.
There'll be a few people that'll have to change a little bit, but I'll be in on Monday. Which, by the way, JB.
Yes.
I have something that came from the hotel. We'll need to schedule the pre-event meeting. Do it on Monday.
Okay.
Late afternoon or stuff. That'll be a meeting with Abby, the banquet manager, things like that. So just kind of, we'll try to figure out time. I think I get into the airport around 1, but I'd love to be there for that pre-event meeting.
Sure. Scott, you gave me an extra day because you told me you're coming in on Sunday. So my wife will be pleased.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So I have all of Monday, and if you need stuff on Sunday, I still have that block.
Oh, you'll be busy enough.
There we go. Thanks.
Okay. All right, all. Thank you for your tremendous work. Same time next week. If you have any questions offline, please let me know.
That's good.
Great. Thank you.
Wonderful evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Aloha, take care.
Aloha.
Bye.
Bye.